Safe Crypto Show disclaimer. Please keep in mind at all times that we, the hosts and guests of the Safe Crypto Show, are not offering or giving investment advice. We only state our personal opinions and thoughts on our own interests. By watching, you agree to not hold us responsible for any losses you may incur by executing trades or by maintaining holds based upon the subjects discussed in our episodes. It is Friday, the 14th of September, 2018. Today I'm flying solo, so I'm just going to get straight into it. Topic number one, the crypto roundup. We're at coin market cap. Bitcoin still at number one, no surprise there. Ethereum number two, Ripple number three, Bitcoin Cash 4, EOS 5, Stellar 6, Litecoin 7, Tether number 8, Monero number 9, and Cardano wrapping up the top 10. I don't think there's anything interesting there this week. We've had a little more of a stable week, ups and downs all considered. Let's go ahead and look at the market cap this week. The global market cap looks like we started out at about 204 billion, and we've ended up over at nearly 202 billion. So. Yep, overall pretty stable week, although we've had some pretty big ups and downs in between. Let's move on to Blocktivity. Here we can see we've had a bit of a turnaround. Let me just reload here just to see what's going on. The last 2 or 3 weeks we've seen EOS at the number one level, but that's all turned on its head this week. I'm not sure why. BitShares now at number one, Steam at number two, Bitcoin at number three, Ethereum at number four, EOS down to number 5. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe whatever was going on, they've fixed it. It didn't really make sense that EOS was number one because the real activity on EOS being a very new chain, shouldn't, well, it's highly capable. It didn't make sense for it to have that many transactions happening on it or that much activity. Anyway, things seem to have righted themselves. So, let's continue on. Komodo at number 6, Ethereum Classic number 7, Waves number 8, Litecoin number 9, Dogecoin number 10, Nano at 11, and Bitcoin Cash all the way down at number 12. So let's have a look here. We normally have a look at any one of these that are overloaded, and of course Ethereum is always overloaded. This week at 61,376 unconfirmed transactions. Don't know when they're going to get that fixed. Could be quite some time. Alright, on to topic number 2, our news and updates this week. Start out with this one, 2 U.S. audited stablecoins debut. Experts see massive impact on the crypto market. As Cointelegraph reported on September 10th, with the approval of the New York Department of Financial Services, Paxos and Gemini officially announced the introduction of 2 stablecoins called the Gemini Dollar and the Paxos Standard. Both stablecoins are backed by the US dollar on a 1-to-1 basis, with every unit of GUSD and PAX representing the value of $1 US. Experts believe that the emergence of fully audited, legitimate and licensed stablecoins will have a profound impact on the crypto market, especially in the long term, as it provides investors a way to retain value without being exposed to the volatility of the market. I'm not going to go into detail there, but check the show notes out. What do you people think about this? I mean, there's already a stable of stable coins now, pardon the pun, and 2 new, yes, they're audited, I suppose, and licensed and all that. Perhaps it will make a difference for institutional investors. I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, Tether is still number one in terms of stable coins on the market right now, and it's questionable whether that will change, but we'll keep our eye on that. News item number 2. We got here, final draft of ICO legislation could signify next step for Philippines fintech sector. The Philippines Securities and Exchange Commission is due to unveil the hotly anticipated draft regulation for cryptocurrency in the next few days, if the information provided by the Manila Times is correct. if the regulation reflects the previous enthusiastic efforts to implement cryptocurrency in the Philippines, it stands to play a seminal role in defining the country's status as a major player in the fintech sector. The SEC chairman, Efiro Luis Amatong, has previously emphasized the need to regulate cryptocurrency exchanges as traditional trading platforms. So, yes, that's interesting stuff. We'll see how that plays out. If it is released in the next week or two, we'll find out what's going on there. Could be more of a gateway for institutional investment again into the crypto sector. Our next article follows kind of the same. France finalizes new ICO framework to attract innovators globally. France's Minister for the Economy and Finance has announced that the government has accepted an article of the Business Growth and Transformation Bill dedicated to initial coin offerings, according to a tweet posted Wednesday, September 12th. As Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire states, the French stock markets regulator is now empowered to give licenses to companies that want to raise funds via an ICO, with legislation aiming to help protect contributors' interests. Is this going to be a help or a hindrance? I don't know, but again, something to keep an eye on. We'll see more and more of this kind of regulation coming into play. Is it going to help or hurt overall in the long term? Our next article, CFTC chair says crypto needs do no harm approach that regulators gave the early internet. Well, I wholeheartedly agree with that. U.S. Commodities Future Trading Commission Chairman Christopher Giancarlo has stated that crypto needs a do no harm approach from regulators to flourish in an interview at the annual Singapore Summit today on Friday the 14th. Chairman said he took the precedent from the early days of the internet, which he argued was able to develop and mature because of the government's minimal interventions. Quote, I'm advocating the same approach to cryptocurrencies and all things having to do with this new digital revolution of markets and of currencies and of asset classes. Nonetheless, he distinguished between the CFTC's short-term approach to tackling illicit activity on the crypto markets and the agency's longer-term and potentially critically impactful decisions on policymaking for the nascent industry. Quote, when it comes to fraud and manipulation, we need to be strong. When it comes to policymaking, I think we need to be slow and deliberate and well-informed. Well, that sounds all right to me. I prefer a completely hands-off approach, but, we'll take what we can get. On to the next topic, adoption news. We've got Canadian Bitcoin Fund receives status as mutual fund trust. Canada's first and only regulated Bitcoin fund, First Block Capital Inc., has obtained mutual fund trust status, allowing investors to put their fund units in self-directed registered accounts, according to a press release published September 10th. First Block Capital Inc. announced that investors in its flagship product, the FBC Bitcoin Trust, available for accredited investors only, can now put their holdings in such accounts as a registered retirement savings plan and a tax-free savings account. Essentially, this will allow accredited investors to deposit their fund units into accounts which provide substantial tax benefits for retirement and savings purposes. There are several types of accredited investors in Canada, which include but are not limited to an individual registered as an advisor or dealer by securities regulators, a person who beneficially owns financial assets in the amount that exceeds 1 million Canadian dollars before taxes, or a person whose net income before taxes exceeded 200,000 or 300,000 in each of the 2 most recent calendar years. Per the press release, the FBC Bitcoin Trust will be available for purchase on the decentralized, self-regulated crypto payment system Neo Connect. Investment advisors can now buy and redeem the FBC Bitcoin Trust on behalf of their accredited investor clients. First Block reportedly expects the majority of investors to start moving funds within the first month. Co-founder and chief investment officer of First Block said, quote, our goal is to make investments in the digital currency asset class more accessible, and we are one step closer to achieving this goal by allowing unit holders to place units in government-sponsored tax-efficient vehicles, and by providing daily liquidity through NeoConnect, a fund distribution platform with a rapidly growing dealer network. Okay, so this looks good. I mean, having some tax exemption status for more institutional kind of investors to get involved and buy Bitcoin. I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin, but, anything that helps people get money into the arena is good. And this looks quite interesting for institutional investment overall. Let's go on to the next article here. Malta Stock Exchange signs memorandum of understanding with Binance to launch security tokens trading platform. The Malta Stock Exchange's fintech and digital asset subsidiary, MSX plc, has signed a memorandum of understanding with crypto exchange Binance to jointly launch a new security token digital exchange, according to a press release shared with Cointelegraph on September the 11th. The press release pitches the forthcoming trading platform as being poised to benefit from the Malta Stock Exchange's 26-year track record of operating as a regulated stock exchange, with the dynamism and international scope of Binance's business model. As previously reported, Binance has steadily been expanding its business presence in Malta, a country whose pro-crypto regulatory stance has earned it the moniker of Blockchain Island. Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao, also known as CZ, is quoted as saying, "Malta has become a global hub for blockchain technology through active and transparent crypto regulations. This partnership will allow Binance and MSX to host traditional financial assets on blockchain technology through security tokens." The chairman of Malta Stock Exchange, Joe Portelli, has for his part said the initiative represents a new market opportunity to develop and push boundaries with the Maltese financial sector. As Cointelegraph has reported, Binance first announced the opening of its office in Malta at the end of March after receiving a warning letter from Japanese financial authorities about its unregistered status. Earlier this summer, CZ told Cointelegraph in an exclusive interview that the exchange had opened a bank account on the island, Malta, paving the way for the introduction of fiat crypto pairs. Company representatives subsequently hinted at the exchange's plans to open a Malta-based platform to this end. So this is good news. Things are moving forward there with Binance on the island of Malta. Next article, Nasdaq exploring adding crypto datasets to its analytics tool, sources say. New York headquartered stock market giant Nasdaq is exploring adding crypto datasets to its market analytics tool, a Nasdaq source told Cointelegraph September the 11th. Speaking to Cointelegraph, Nasdaq's head of alternative data build not sure what that means, said that given an abundance of interest, we are exploring cryptocurrency-related datasets. Whether or not we launch a crypto-related product remains to be seen. Crypto datasets would potentially be integrated into Nasdaq's Data Analytics Hub, which launched in 2017 with the aim to make unstructured data more intelligible for the benefit of investors. The spectrum of the Analytics Hub currently parses a range of curated datasets, including eVestment ESG, referring to environmental, social, and governance data, a global news exposure, investment risk management tool, and a monthly iCentium social media sentiment dataset. This July, Cointelegraph covered a closed-door meeting that was reportedly held by Nasdaq to discuss steps for legitimizing the crypto industry across global markets. Attendees are said to have included representatives from the Winklevoss twins' Gemini Crypto Exchange, as part of a group of around half a dozen representatives from both the traditional financial sphere and the crypto industry. This April, Nasdaq CEO Adina Friedman said that the platform would consider supporting crypto trade in the future if the market becomes more mature and transparently regulated. So it looks like some very slow but not insignificant advancement there in the Nasdaq adopting crypto space. Okay, our next topic is the discussion. Since I'm not joined by my co-host, I don't know how much discussion there's going to be, but I'll read through the article, and if I have any comments, I will comment on it. Vitalik Buterin, crypto blockchain space won't see 1,000 times growth again. So Vitalik is a pretty well-known person in the crypto space, the founder of Ethereum. Says there is no chance that cryptocurrency and blockchain space will see 1,000 times growth again. He stated this in an interview with Bloomberg on September the 8th. At an Ethereum and blockchain conference in Hong Kong, Buterin told Bloomberg that the rapid growth of the crypto and blockchain industry is now reaching a ceiling and is moving from just people being interested to the stage of real applications of real economic activity. Buterin explained that the period of explosive growth in the sphere is likely coming to an end because the level of superficial awareness about the industry has significantly grown and is likely to plateau. Quote, if you talk to the average educated person at this point, they probably have heard of blockchain at least once. There isn't an opportunity for yet another 1,000 times growth in anything in the space anymore. According to Buterin, the initial strategies seen over the past 6 or 7 years in the crypto community based on marketing coins with the goal of widespread adoption has resulted in massive growth, price, and market capitalization of many cryptocurrencies, but that is now getting close to hitting a dead end. Crypto markets have seen a dramatic decline in terms of total market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies during 2018. In January, total market cap of all cryptocurrencies hit $828 billion. The peak in total market cap has been followed by a gradual downturn with a rebound upwards in May that has led to the current figure of $198.8 billion, the lowest point since early November 2017, according to CoinMarketCap. However, while crypto markets have seen a significant decline in 2018, the current figures are still much more than those in the beginning of 2017, with total market capitalization standing at around 17 to 20 billion, and major cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum were mostly trading below $1,000 and $12 respectively. In this regard, Bitcoin Jesus, Roger Ver, recently told Cointelegraph that the recent bear market feels like the opposite of a crash, since Bitcoin is up 58% for the year, or for the last year, and 1,048% for the last 2 years. In the bearish marketplace, various experts have suggested different scenarios for the dynamics of crypto prices at the end of 2018. In late August, FundStrat's Tom Lee claimed that Bitcoin could end the year explosively higher, citing a correlation between it and emerging markets and predicting that Bitcoin's price could surge to as high as $25,000 this year. In July, Alexis Ohanian, co-founder of both Reddit and VC firm Initialized Capital, reiterated his stance that Bitcoin and Ethereum will be trading at $20,000 and $1,500 by the end of 2018, respectively. Also in July, Julian Hosp, co-founder and president of crypto startup 10x, claimed that he was still quite confident that Bitcoin can hit $60,000 in 2018. That's pretty optimistic. I don't know. I think 1,000 times growth, that's certainly a very difficult ask, and certainly much easier in a very new space. Perhaps longer term, over a period of a decade, I think 1,000 times growth is still quite conceivable. There's certainly a lot of things that will need to change for that to occur, but change is certainly something that we don't have any shortage of in this global economy at the moment. So I don't agree with Vitalik here. I think we could quite easily see 1,000 times growth again, but I don't think it's going to be kind of short-term sort of gain. I think this is more of a longer-term sort of transition as markets shift and change over the next decade or even two. So yeah, that's what I'm feeling about it. Okay, topic number 5 is the MaidSafe update. As people who've been watching the show know, I originally had the MaidSafe update at the end of the show, and then for the last few months I've had it after the news and updates section, or after the crypto roundup section as kind of a topic number 2. But I feel like that wasn't really the best place for it, and over time I've just kind of been thinking maybe I need to move it back to the end. I think I can give it more of a deeper introspection, more of a deeper analysis if I put it at the end. Or even if not analysis, I just feel more comfortable going through it in a more in-depth fashion at the end. So I'm going to put it back at the end, and hopefully people will appreciate that, I can give it more its due there than I could at the beginning. So let's just go into that then. The development update for September 13th. Let's see, let's get to the beginning. Seems like I was halfway through it there. So let's see, summary. Here are the main things highlighted this week. MaidSafe has put up a new forum post providing a little bit of context for each of the Safe Network fundamentals that were first shared a couple of weeks ago. I might go into that. I'm going to have a link to that in the show notes as well. Pardon me. Number 2, MaidSafe is delighted to announce that Chainrift will commence Maid Bitcoin trading pairs from Monday, the 17th of September at 6 p.m. GMT. So that's great news. We got another exchange that people can trade Maid on. That's really important because there just haven't been that many, and we need a little more liquidity, I think, for the market. So this is excellent news. Number 3, user DGettys relaunched the RFC process. So what they're doing there is they're basically adopting the current Rust RFC process. They originally had the Rust RFC process, but they didn't keep it up to date, and so they're basically updating it. Number 4, user Doug Campbell, it's one of the members of the marketing team, user Bart and user Pierre Chevalier 83 have presented a deep dive into Parsec at a, quote, work on blockchain meetup in London. You can check out the introduction given by Doug following this link. I'll try to put the links to all these videos into the show notes as well, so people can follow what's going on. The main Parsec video talk has been cut into sections, and you can view the playlist here. I'll just put a link to the playlist. That would be smarter, wouldn't it? And slides here. Okay. So we released, this is the last highlight, we've released a new version of our Peruse Safe Browser and Web Hosting Manager. So that's great news. They finally got those out, so super. I'm just going to go through the update then. So marketing, a few things to highlight on the marketing front this week. First up, we've put up a new forum post providing a little bit of context for each of the safe network fundamentals that were first shared a couple of weeks ago. Hopefully this will start to flesh out a few of these concepts, particularly for newcomers. We see each of these as crucial elements that we have used to guide the design and implementation of the network, and we'll get these added to safenetwork.tech within the next fortnight. So that's super. As you might have seen earlier, we're delighted to announce that Chainrift will commence MAID Bitcoin trading pairs from Monday, September 17th. We've set up a new topic to collect any questions you might have, and the team from Chainrift are keen to answer any questions there. So head along to this post, announcing a listing if you'd like to learn more. This week, user DGettys also relaunched the RFC process. For those that aren't aware, the request for comments process, it's RFC, is a recognized way of encouraging others to get involved in making suggestions around the technical implementation of specific areas. As with every open source project, we want the best ideas out there to be adopted, so if you can help as we move forwards, please do check out the post to learn more. A quick update on our MozFest application. Unfortunately, we've just found out that our application to run a session on decentralizing the web and setting up a safe website did not make the cut for the event this year. A real shame, as there's clear overlap and interest there, but no fear, we will apply again at the next opportunity. Finally, in terms of talks this week, Doug Campbell opened up proceedings with an intro to the Safe Network at Manchester Blockchain Conference, and also spoke at a workonblockchain.com event. You can check out the video here. Also, where Pierre Chevalier 83 and Bart dug deep into Parsec for an audience of interested developers, we've edited the main Parsec video talk into sections so that we can make it as easy as possible to digest for those who want to go in depth. You can view the playlist here and see the slides here. So, Safe API and apps. Yesterday, we released a new version of our Peruse Safe Browser and Web Hosting Manager. As mentioned in the post, we are planning to deprecate our previous Beaker-based safe browser early next week, and all websites will be updated to direct you to this new version as the only available safe browser for downloading. As anticipated last week, this new version of the safe browser also includes some experimental APIs we've been working on recently. Examples are web IDs and RDF utilities APIs. Even though this is not already implemented in this version, from the next version onward, the safe browser will disable any experimental API feature by default, and they will be optionally enabled when a special flag is provided when launching it. We are also adding more details in the README file itself about the new DOM APIs, as well as details about the experimental APIs and features we are exposing, so developers can better understand how to use the API and also be aware of what is experimental. This will be important as experimental APIs and features could be changed, deprecated, or even removed without much notification in subsequent releases, and developers will need to be aware of this when creating their applications. We will provide more information on how this will work exactly in the next release. As always, we appreciate your feedback, and especially to get issues reported so we can work on fixing them. When reporting a bug, please do it directly in our GitHub repository, since that's where we are now handling all of this and having detailed discussions about the code. If you otherwise have issues which are not necessarily bugs or would like to get clarifications before being certain of it being a bug, please post your questions in our dev forum where people can provide guidance and help. This past week, Safe App Java has had a spring in its step, and as we have resolved the Android J&I issue that has been holding us back. Awesome. Now that our work on the Android library is back on track, and we look forward to the exciting weeks ahead. The Safe Authenticator mobile app has been moved to a new repository. A pull request is under review to change the project structure. Also, as we mentioned last week, we will be cleaning the Safe mobile repo, now renamed to Safe Email App C#, which will now only contain an example email app. I'm not going to go on. There's another section on Safe Client Library, routing. So, excellent work, MaidSafe team. Always good to see lots of things happening there. Let's go ahead and have a look at the fundamentals post here. So there's a lot of them here. I'm just going to read through the top bit here, and I'll have a link to this in the show notes. If you're interested in what's going on with the Safe Network fundamentals work, then please have a look. This is basically everything they're going to be trying to incorporate into the Safe Network. So I'll just read the first couple paragraphs here. There are certain principles that have driven every stage of the design of the Safe Network ever since the project started in 2006. In that time, the Safe community has grown, and we are delighted to see just how many people and projects have come to recognize the vital importance of a global, secure, and private decentralized platform for storage and communication. A few weeks ago, we shared the Safe Network fundamentals with you. Each of these statements is necessarily wide, so today we're adding a little context around each to help communicate the scope of the vision to everyone, regardless of background. We'll be adding these to the safenetwork.tech website in the next couple of weeks, so please feel free to ask any questions in the meantime if any of this is unclear. So yeah, I do suggest, if you're going to spend some time having a look at these, please do make some suggestions. I'm sure it's not perfect, and any kind of good suggestions that are put in can be added and adjusted as needed. I think this is a really helpful document, to be honest. I think it'll be really good once it's in the website too. It'll really help clarify to people what MaidSafe's really intending here with the Safe Network. All right, I think I'm going to leave it at that. So I want to thank all of you for joining me this week. I hope you found the episode informative and helpful. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share the video with others, and tune in next week for another interesting episode. Bye-bye.